They're in the back.
On the front too, yeah.
Oh, I didn't actually know.
Yeah, it goes both ways.
I didn't know that. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that. Yeah.
Sticks
The
out a
slots are
little.
small on the front.
Yeah,
They only go this far.
yeah.
Do you know that?
Yeah, because it's the same shelf, it's just divided.
But it has
Yeah.
a divider, actually.
Yes.
Yeah. So, in terms of Benjamin Goma, he's coaching which,
Third.
third? Okay. He's gonna just do it, or?
Yeah, you just say, or would like to mention also.
Say what it is.
You can, if he wants to say, he had a procedure, a medical procedure.
Okay.
Yeah. You-
Shabbat.
Yeah, so.
Did you want to mention?
No, it's just, I had sort of,
Okay.
you know,
Maybe the other day.
I thought that was important with apology, thank you, so.
So you really, you mentioned going out really for the test results too.
For both,
Yeah.
for the.
The
for the
procedure
before
and the results.
For the results, yeah.
Yeah.
For the refuah and the shalema, is that?
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
You really not gonna help me?
What if we want to use them? No, I'm just kidding.
You know what? Let me just put this, I'm gonna put this drum away so no kid that's tempted to.
Oh,
you
okay.
know.
Gets any
It's easy.
ideas?
Yeah.
Okay.
It says don't put a stumbling block before the blind.
When Joe was here, we had asking for the instruments there, I said, do you want people to use those or not? He said, no, absolutely, find the furthest spot you can put them.
I wasn't sure what the answer was gonna be.
Yeah.
Until you told. I was
Oh,
kinda,
yeah.
I was like waiting for the punchline.
Yeah.
I could've
No.
seen it going either way.
Oh, yeah, no. He was like, absolutely not. As far, hide them as deep as in the bowels as you can. Okay, all right. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We are ready to begin. Page 103. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan l'sechi bina lehavin ben yom uben laila. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani b'tzalmo. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani ben chorin. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam pokeach ivrim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam malbish arumim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam matir asurim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam zokiv kifufim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam roka aretz al hamayim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamechim mitzadei gaver. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asa li kol tzarki. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ozer Yisrael b'gvura. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam oter Yisrael b'tifara. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam noting ya ev koa kwakatan makam. Vihirasam. Udnenu ayom v'chol yom v'cheinu chazarachamim b'necha v'nechorin v'tikmalenu chazadim tovim Baruch atah Adonai gomel chazadim tovim li'amo Yisrael. You may be seated. We're on page 105. Ashrenu atochakenu ma'anaim gorlenu umayafa yerushatenu Ashrenu shinaknu mashkimim moravim erevavoke avrimim pamayim bechol yom Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Kaddish Shecha Makdashei Shemecha V'Kaddish Shecha Be'olomecha U'Vishua Chatarim V'Tagbir Karnenu Baruch atah Adonai V'Kaddish Shecha Barabim. Okay, let's turn back and we can read page 34, the third paragraph on the page. If while doing that which is permitted on Shabbat, one does something that constitutes work on Shabbat, but without intending that the work be done, it is permitted. For instance, one may open a portable bed or move a chair or stool, and if one dug a groove in the floor while moving it, one need not worry, since the effect was unintentional. Similarly, one may walk on grass on Shabbat without any concern, so long as one did not consciously intend to pull out the grass, and if some grass was pulled up, there is nothing to be concerned about. Page 110. Hiratzol milfanecha Adonai Eloheinu v'lei avotenu shetiten chakenu v'toratecha v'niyemi tamidav shalorano kohen ohev shalom v'redev shalom ohev v'dabriot u'merkavan la Torah. There's somebody right out here. Didn't see who it was.
Can't just will it with your mind.
No. Just come right under this doorway and you'll be good.
Okay, we're in.
All right, we're in. All right, we're in. Beautiful. Page 111, Kaddish D'Rabbanan. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabba. V'yalma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayechon v'yamechon v'chayei d'chal beit Yisrael. Ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevorach v'yolam omei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaneh v'yitangal shemei dekudisha brichu. Na'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Al Yisrael v'al Ramadan v'al Tamidehon v'al kol Tamidehon v'al kol ma'an de'askin be'oraita di v'yatra hadain v'di b'chol atar ba'atar Yehi l'chon l'chon shlama rabba china v'chista v'rachamin v'chayin arichin mezone reviche uvarkana min kadama v'honde v'shmaya v'yara v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayin tovim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu barachamav yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. You may be seated. Page 112. Hayom Yom Shabbat Kodesh. Odivum v'seva shenim renim yiyu hagi k'yashar danai tzuri below avlata baho. We continue page 120. Mizmor shilchan katapaya David Hafakta mispedil nacholi, pitakta sakivat azreni, simcha, l'ma'an yizmercha v'lo yidom, Adonai Ohai, li'olam odeka. Mourner's Kaddish is found on page 121. Yikadal v'yikadash Shomrei Rabba, v'yalma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yamechon u'v'chayei dechal beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei Shomrei Rabba mevorach le'olam olamei maya. Yiparach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitangal Shomrei dekudusha brichu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tush b'chata v'nechamata da'amiran b'alma v'imru amen. V'hei shalama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. We continue with Baruch Shamar, page 122. We rise if we are able. Baruch Shemar v'hayalam Baruch Hu Baruch Oseh v'reshit Baruch Omer v'yoseh Baruch Ozer Mikayim Baruch Mirachem al haaretz Baruch Mirachem al habriot Baruch Mishalem Sachar Tov Nireav Baruch Hala'ad V'kayam Hanetzach Baruch Podeh Umatzil Baruch Shemo 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 Yachi Chemi Melch Mishpat V'dei Ad Shmo HaGadol Baruch Atah Adonai Melech Mehulal Bati Hishbachot. May be seated. We continue, page 126, second paragraph. Hoshia et amecha uvarech et nachatecha Ureim, 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 Ureim v'naseh Ureim v'naseh mad ha'olam Hoshia et amecha Uvarech et nachatecha Ureim, 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 Ureim v'naseh Ureim v'naseh mad ha'olam. V'ani b'chasra v'takti yageli b'bishuatecha ashira la'Adonai ki gamalai. Let's continue on. How about 132? We rise if we're able. Hodu Adonai ki tov ki le'olam chasto. Hodu Elohei ha'Elohim ki le'olam chasto. Hodu Adonai ha'Adonim ki le'olam chasto. Liosei niflaot gidolot livado ki le'olam chasto. Sheb shiflenu zachar lanu ki le'olam chasto vayifrekenu mitzarenu ki le'olam chasto noten lechem lechol basar ki le'olam chasto hodu le'el hashamayim ki le'olam chasto. May be seated. 134. Mizmor Shirley Shabbat. Sadika Tamar Yifra Keres Bavanon Yizke Shetuim Bebeit Adonai Bechatrot Eloheinu Yafrichu Od Yinu B'Seva Dishenim V'Rananim Yiyu Behagi Ki Yashar Adonai Turi Eloav Edotechem od leveit chanav kodesh Adonai liorech yamim. Page 136. Ashrei Yoshvei Beitecha Od Yalilu Chasela Ashrei Yoshvei Beitecha Od Yalilucha Od Yalilucha Selah. Yadecha masbir l'chol chai ratzon. Tiyadan Rabbi v'varech kol b'soshin kol shel olam va'ed v'nachnu v'varech yatavi ad olam. Hallelujah. We continue Psalm 150, page 141. Hallelujah, 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 El Bikocho, hallelujah, Birki Auzo, hallelujah, Biguratab, hallelujah, Kirogula, hallelujah, 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 B'teika shofar, hallelujah, B'nevel v'chinor, hallelujah, B'tofu machol, hallelujah, B'minim ve'ugam, hallelujah, 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 b'tziltzalei shama, hallelujah, b'tziltzalei truah, kol neshama tihalaya, hallelujah, kol neshama tihalaya, hallelujah. Baruch Adonai Elohim Eloi Yisrael Sheini V'Lo Levado V'Roshem Kevado Le'olam V'Yimalech Kevado Kol Haaretz Amen V'Amen. We turn to page 143. We rise if we are able. Vayosha Adonai Vayar Yisrael et hayad hagadol asher Adonai b'Mitzrayim. Vayurham et Adonai, vayaminu ba'Adonai, uv'Moshe avdo. Az yashir Moshe, uv'nei Yisrael, et hashira hazol Adonai, vayomru le'mor. Ashir al Adonai, ki ga'oga, sus v'rochevo, rama vayam, ozi v'zimratya, vayehi lishua, ze'eli v'yan ve'yu avi v'arom amenhu, Adonai ish milchama, Adonai shemo, markivo paro v'chelo, Yahara vayam, umivchar shalishav, tuviu v'yam suf, tihomo yichas yumu yardu v'imsalot, kimo aven, yimincha Adonai, nedari b'koach, yimincha Adonai, tirat zoyer. Mi chamocha bo'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, norati lo, osei be'enetum. Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Vatikach Miriam Neviah achot Aaron et hatof vayadav v'tetzen kol hanashim achareha batufim uvim chol lahod. Vatan lahem Miriam shiranai kigo gasus rochbo rama vayam. Ki Adonai amukam shebagoyim, umashim b'har tzion shpodet haresa, v'hayet Adonai amelucha, v'haya Adonai l'melch kol haaretz, v'yomahu yi Adonai echad, hu shemo echad. We're on page 145, you may be seated. Nishma kol chai, tivarech et shimcha Adonai Eloheinu. Even Nehalelecha Shabechacha Navercha Navarech Shem Kodshecha Kamor David Barchi Nafshi et Adonai V'chol Karavai et Shem Kodsheho Ha'el B'tatzumo Tuzecha Hagadol B'chvahod Shemecha Hagibor L'netzach B'nora B'norotecha Hamelech HaYoshev Al Kisei Ram V'Nisa.
Yasher Koach to Jeff. Shabbat Shalom to everyone, and welcome to services this morning, whether you're here in person or here on Zoom. You may know we're going to be celebrating a baby naming later this morning. I just want to give a big welcome to big sister Lila and big brother Miles. Our service continues with Shomrei. The Shacharit service begins with the second paragraph on page 147.
Shomrei marom v'kadosh shemo. Befi esharim titala, libedivrei tzadikim titbarach, ובלשון חסידים תתרומם, ובקרב קדושים תתקדש. מקלות רבבות, עמך בית ישראל. שכן חובר כל יצורים לפניך, אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו, להודות, להלל, לשבח, לפאר, לרומם, להדר, לברך, להלל ולקלס, על כל דברי שירות ותשבחות, דוד בן ישי, עבדך משיחך. ישתבח שמך לעד מלכנו. ברכות והודות מעתה ועד עולם, ברוך אתה אדוני, המלך גדול בתשבחות, אל ההודות אדון הנפלאות, הבוחר בשירי זמרה, מלך מלכי העולמים. יתקדש שמי רבה, ועמד יברכותי וימליך מלכותי, בחיי חון וביומי חון, וחיי דכל בית ישראל, בגלה בגלה, ובזמן קריב יברא אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם לא מעלמיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח ויתבר וישמם וינשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי קדושה בריחו. לעילה מכל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תמירם בעלמה ויאמרו אמן. ברכו את אדוני הבורא, ברוך אדוני ברך לעולם ועד.
Please be seated.
אין כרך אדוני אלוהינו בעולם הזה, ואין זולתך בקנו לחיי עולם הבא. אפס בלתך גואלנו לימות המשיח, ואין דומה לך מושיענו לתחיית המתים. אל אדון על כל המעשים, ברוך ומבורך בפי כל נשמה, גדלו וטובו מלא עולם דעת ותבונה, סובב במותו המיגה חיות הקודש, נהדר בכבוד על המרחבה, זכות ובישור לפני חיסון, חסד ורחמים לפני כבודו, טובים מאורות שברא אלוהינו יצרה מדעת ובינה ובשכל, כוח וגבורה נתן בהם להיות מושלים בקרב תבל. הם זיו ופיקים נוגה, נעזיבם בכל העולם, שמחים בצאתם וששים בבואם, עושים בהם הרצון קונם, פאר וכבוד נותנים לשמות צהלה ורינה, לזכר מלכותו קרא לשמש, ויזרח אורה והתקין צורת הלבנה, שנותנים לו כל צבא מרום, תפארת וגדולה, שרפים ואופנים וחיות הקודש. Kiparach Mosheinu al Shavach Maseyatecha V'yama Meore Or Shasita Yefaru Chasela.
Top of page 153.
Kulam Ahuvim, Kulam Birurim, Kulam Giburim V'chulam Osim Bema Biraritson Konam V'chulam Palchim Epihem Mikdu Shabbat Tahora B'shira B'zimra Mevarchim V'meshavchim V'mefarim V'maritzim V'makdishim V'mamlichim V'chulam Mekablim Aleihem Mo Machut Shamayim Zeh Mizeh V'nonim Reshut Zalazah L'Akdishot Ram V'nachat Zurach V'safa B'Rabbanim HaKedosha Kulam Kecharonim V'omrim B'yirah Kadosh Kadosh Adonai Tzvaot Melo Kol Haaretz Kevodo V'ofanim V'chayot HaKodesh V'rash Gadol Minasim L'umat Tzrafim L'umatam Meshavchim V'omrim V'chavad Adonai Amechadesh B'tuvo B'chol Yom Tamid Maaseh Bereshit Kamor Le'asim Morim Gedolim Ki Le'olam Chasto Yabba bye 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 Yabba bye 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 Yabba bye 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 Yai dai 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 Or Chadash Bye bye Yabba bye 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 Yai bye 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 Or Chadash Al Tzion Ta'ir 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 V'nizke kulanu V'nizke kulanu Mehera le'oro Yabba bye 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 Yabba bye 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 Yabba bye 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 Yabba bye 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 Yabba bye 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 Yabba bye 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 Yabba bye 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 Yabba bye 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 Baruch atah Adonai Yotzer HaMeorot V'havienu le'shalom erba kanfot ha'aretz v'torlichenu kol mamid le'artzenu ki al pol yeshuot ata uvanu brachot mekol am v'lashon v'kerev tanu shimcha gadol sela be'emeh lehodar lecha le'chedcha be'ava Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'mo Yisrael be'ahava Shema Yisrael Adonai וכל נפשך וכל מאודך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובמלאכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם להיות על ידך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך Adonai Elohechem emet. V'nakon v'kayam v'yashar v'ne'eman v'hu v'chaviv. K'mad v'na'im v'nora v'adir v'metukan. V'kobal v'tov v'yafer. Rabbi Dahu Kayam, Mushmao Kayam, V'chison Achon Malchut Tov Emunah Tola Ad Kayamet. Rav Chayei V'Kayamim. Emet Shetahu Adonai Eloheinu V'Elohei Avotenu, Malkeinu Melech Avotenu, Go Aleinu Go El Avotenu, Yotzenu Sur Yeshuatenu, Podenu Matzilenu Olam Shemecha, En Elohim Zulatecha. Avotenu Atahu. Tilala Elyon Barchum Varach Moshe Miriam Uvnei Yisrael Achanu Shira B'simcha Rabbah V'emru Chulam Micha Mocha Ba'elim Adonai Micha Mocha Nedar B'Kodesh Norah Teilot Shira Chadasha, Shibechu Geulim, Neshimcha Sefat Hayam, Achad Kulam Hodu, V'himlichu V'yamru, Adonai Yimloch Le'olam Va'ed, Sur Yisrael, Kuma Bezrat Yisrael, Uvtechenu Mecha, Yehuda veYisrael, Go Aleinu, Adonai Tzvat Shemo, Kedosh Yisrael, Baruch Atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael.
We join together now for the Amidah, together aloud through the Kaddish on page 159.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sara Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor VeHaNora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'koneh HaKol V'zocher Chasdei Avot U'mevii Goel Lifnei B'neihem L'mat Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer Ufaked Moshiach U'Magen Baruch Atah Adonai Magei Avraham Ufaked Torah Atah Gibor L'olam Adonai Mechayim Mitim L'tarav Le'Oshiach Mashiva Ruach U'Maridah Hashem Me'apel Chayim B'chesed Mechayim Mitim B'rachamim Rabim Somech Noflim V'rofeh Cholim U'matir Asurim U'mekayem Emunato L'shenei Afar Michamocha Ba'geburot U'midol Melech Melech Merit U'mechayei U'matzliach Yeshua V'ne'eman Atah Lechayot Niti Baruch Atah Adonai Mechayei Hametim Amen. Nekadesh Shimcha Ba'olam Kishem Shamati Shimoto B'Shnei Marom כתוב ינוח בקרזל זה ואמר
קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, הארץ כבודו.
קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלך כל הארץ כבודו. אז בקול רעש גדול, אדיר וחזק משמיעים קול, מנסים לעומת שרפים, לעומתם ברוך יאמרו.
ברוך אדוני
במקום חמקנו תופיע ותמלוך עלינו כי מחכים אנחנו לך. מתי תמלוך בציון בקרוב בימינו לעולם ועד תשכון. כי גדל וקדש בתוך ירושלים עירך לדור ודור לנצח נצחים. ועינינו תראנה תראנה מלכותך כדבר האמור בשירי עוזך על ידי דוד משיח צדקך.
מלוך אדוני ציון, הללויה.
מלוך אדוני לעולם אלוהי ציון לדור ודור הללויה. לדור ודור
לדור ודור
לדור ודור
לדור ודור
לדור ודור נגיד קול לך. לדור ודור
לדור ודור
לדור ודור
לדור ודור
לדור ודור נגיד קול לך. ולנצח נצחים Gadal v'kadash Shomrei Rabba ve'amad divra kirotei v'amlich malchutei b'chayechonu v'yamechonu v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael b'galav v'zman kariv yimeru. Amen. Yehei Shomrei Rabba mevorach le'olam olam le'amaya yitbarach. Yitbarach v'yishabach v'yitbar v'yitramam v'yinasei v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei nekudusha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tishpata v'nechamata damiran be'ama v'yimeru. Amen. Titkapot tzlo todu v'atan d'chol Yisrael kadam v'hondi b'shmaya v'yimeru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'kol Yisrael v'yimeru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mroma v'yaseh shalom aleinu v'kol Yisrael v'yimeru. Amen.
As we prepare for the Torah service, we turn to page 168. And if you're honored with carrying the Torah or open the ark, please come stand right here next to me.
Ein kamocha b'Elohim Adonai v'ein kema'asecha malchutecha malchut kol olamim u'memshaltecha b'chol dor v'dor. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai oz le'abo yitain, Adonai yevarech et amo b'shalom. Avarachamim Tiva birtzoncha es Zion, Tivnei chomot Yerushalayim, Tivnei chomot Yerushalayim, Ki bechol levad batachnu, melech elram v'nisha, Adon olamim. Vayhi bin Sara vayomer Moshe, U'ma Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shemo. Gadol Adonai Yitzri Rameh Ma Shemo Yachtav. Adonai Hagidu Hagidu Rabbi Tomorrow.
Please be seated. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Rabbi Julie Roth. I'm the new rabbi here at Shomrei Emunah. It's really exciting to be here this morning to celebrate Shabbat and to celebrate a baby naming. This week's Torah portion is Chayei Sara, which means the life of Sarah, but it really talks about how her life spanned 127 years and then she died. And her husband Abraham found a place to bury her and then thought it was time to turn to the next generation and find a wife for his son Isaac. The story of Abraham's servant going to find a wife for Isaac is the longest chapter in the entire Torah. It's a remarkable story where the servant is thinking to himself, well, how am I going to know if she's the right one? And decides that if he can find somebody who has the kindness to offer not only him water, but water to all of his camels, that is the one. I'm sure all of you were thinking about that when you had your checklist of what you were looking for in his house. But actually, camels drink a lot of water, and it's a tremendous amount of work to give drink to camels. It would have taken many hours of work, actually, for her to draw all that water from the well. And it was not only a sign of her kindness, but also of a sign of her ability to notice if something was needed even before it was asked for. In our Thursday night Torah study class, we talked about the ways in which the story of Rebekah paralleled the story of Abraham's life, and how perhaps it's Rebekah who is being relied on here after the traumatic incident of the almost sacrifice of Isaac to carry on the traditions of the people, which you'll see play out in different ways in the Torah readings to come. So there are some different parallels between Rebekah and Abraham. I think the most significant one being her willingness to get up and go from her parents' house, from the land where she was born, and to follow Abraham's servant to the land of Canaan to marry Isaac. And the language of Lech Lecha that we see when God calls Abraham to go, and Abraham's willingness just a few verses later to go, is reflected also in the story of Rebekah's willingness to go. And it's striking that rather than her father or her brother telling her, you're going to marry this man and you're going to go, which would have been typical at that time in a patriarchal society, Rebekah is asked if of her own volition she wants to marry Isaac and to go, and she immediately responds, yes, I will go. And I just want to draw attention to this one verse because sometimes when things are translated into English, a little bit is lost. And in verse 58, it says, in verse 58 of chapter 24, it says, they called Rebekah and said to her, will you go with this man? Will you go with Abraham's servant and go meet this guy Isaac and marry him? And the translation says, and she said, I will. But in the Hebrew, it says, Vatomer elech, I will go. Reflecting the language of lech lecha, and actually the verb for to go. The letters hey, lamed, chet, chaf, appear here in this little story that's actually not so little because it's more than 60 verses long, 7 times. 7, of course, is a magic number. It's a signal that there's something very significant about Rebekah's willingness to go. And of course, lalechet or halacha, elech, these are all related words. And so our whole system of mitzvot, the whole concept of how you live a life of holiness in Judaism is related to the idea of journey and a willingness to go from wherever you may be to a new place. And so as we celebrate the journey of a new life this morning, let us all think about Rebekah's willingness to follow Abraham's lead and to go to the land of Canaan, and think about what initiative are we going to take in our own Judaism and in our own Jewish journeys. In what way will we too walk on this path? The Torah reading, it's kind of magical. Andy pointed this out to me. It's found on page 127, if you were paying attention. Sara lived for 127 years. Chayei Sara, page 127.
V'yazor v'yagen v'yeshua l'chol ha'chosim bo v'nomar amen. Ha'kol havu godel Eloheinu nu chavod la'torah nala amod. Lalia aleph. Baruch shenata Torah li'amo Yisrael bikdu shato. V'yatem hadvekim b'Adonai Elohechem chayim kulchem hayom.
Baruch es Adonai Hamborach. Baruch Adonai Hamborach Leolam Boed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Olam Asher Bochar Bona Mikol Ha'amim V'notan Lonu Es Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Vayu Chayei Sara mi'at shana. V'yasrim shana b'shem shanim. Shnei Chayei Sara. V'tamat Sara. V'kiryat Arba. Hechevron v'eretz Canaan. V'yavo Avraham l'spil l'Sara v'livkota. V'yakam Avraham el pnei mito. V'yitiber el pnei chet lemor. Ger v'toshav anochi machem. Tenu li'achuzat kaveri machem. V'yakbara meti milfanai. V'yanuv nechet et Avraham lemor lo. Shma'enu Adoni. Nesi Elohim ota b'tochenu. V'mivchar kvarenu. Kvar et metecha. Ish mimenu et kivro lo yichle mimcha mikvar metecha. Vayakam Avraham vayishtachu l'ama aretz livnechet. Vayedaber itam lemor im yeshet nafshechem lepor metim milfanai shma'uni ufigu li be'efron ben sochar vayetem li v'yitem li et me'arat ha'machpelah asher lo asher b'tzei sadehu be'kesef malei yitnena li b'tochachem le'achuzat kaver ve'efron yoshev b'toch b'nei chet vayan Efron achiti et Avraham baznei b'nei chet lecho ba'ei sha'ar iro lemor lo adoni shma'eni hasadeh natati lach v'hama'ara asher bo lecha natatiha le'nei b'nei ami natatiha lach kivor metecha vayishtachu Avraham lifnei am ha'aretz vayedaber el Efron v'yaznei am ha'aretz lemor ach im talu shma'eni natati kesef hasadak kach mimeni ve'ekbara et meti shama vayan Efron et Avraham lemor
Meitcha Kevor, Vayishma Avraham El Ephron, Vayishkol Avraham LeEphron et HaKesef, Asher Diber Bas Nevenechet, 400 shekel kesef, over lasocher.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher notan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam notah b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Second Aliyah is on page 130, verse 17.
Nala Amud. Lalia Bet.
Baruch Adonai HaMorach. Baruch Adonai HaMorach. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'kabanu b'kol b'tanhon HaTorah Baruch Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Just trying to find it. Yakam Zedei Ephron, Asher B'machpelah, Asher Lifnei Mamrei, Asadeh V'hamara, Asher Bo, V'chol ha'etz, Asher B'asadeh, Asher B'chol Gvulo Saviv, LaAvraham U'mikna L'nei V'nechet, V'chol Ba'esh Sha'ar Ivo, V'achrechen, Kavar Avraham, et Sara Ishto, El Me'arat Zedei, Machpelah, Al Pnei Mamrei Hebron, Be'eretz Canaan, Vayakam HaZadeh, V'ma'ara Asher Bo, L'Avraham L'chozat Kaver, Me'et V'nechet, V'Avraham Zakein, Baba Yamin, V'Adonai Berech et Avraham B'kol, V'yomer Avraham, El Avdos Kan Beito, HaMoshel B'chol Asher Lo, Tzimna Yadcha Tachet Yirechi, V'yashbiacha, B'Adonai Elohei HaShamayim, Elohei Haaretz, Asher Lo Tikach Isha Livni, Mibnot HaKna'ani, Asher Anochi Yosef B'kirbo, Ki El Artzi V'el Moledati Telech, V'lakachta Isha Livni Li'etzchak, Vayomer Elav ha'eved, Ulai lo toveh ha'isha, L'lechet acharei al aretz hazot, Ha'hashev, Ashiv et bincha, El ha'aretz et el ha'aretz asher yatzate misham, Vayomer Elav Avraham, Yishamer lecha, Pen tashiv epeni shama, Adonai, Elohei hashamayim, Asher lakachani mi beit avi umi eretz moladati va'asher diber li va'asher nishba li lemor lezaracha etenet ha'aretz hazot hu yishlach malacho lefanecha v'lakachta isha livni misham V'im lo toveh ha'isha l'lechet acharecha v'nikita mishvuati zot rak epeni lo tashev shama v'yasem ha'eved et yado tachat yerch Avraham Adonav v'yishava lo al hadavar hazeh.
Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher notan lanu Torah v'chayei olam notah b'tochenu. Baruch Adonai noten haTorah.
Torah reading continues in the middle of page 132. Nala Amud. Lalia Gimel.
Baruch Hu es Adonai Barach. Baruch Adonai Barach Li'olam Loed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'char banu b'kol ha'amim v'nasan lanu es Torah. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Vayikach ha'eved 10 gemalim mipalei Aronam vayelech v'chol tuf Aronam b'yado vayakom vayelech el aram naharai me'lir nahor vayavrech ha'gemalim michutz ha'ira be'er mayim le'eit erev le'eit tzei Shavot vayomar Adonai Eloheinu Avraham הנה, אנוכי ניצב על עין המים, ובנות אנשי העיר יוצאות לשמיים, היה נערה, אשר אמר אליה, התינה חדך ושתה, ואמרה שתה, וגם בעלך אשכה, אותה הוכחת לעבדך לזכח, ובא עדה, כי עשית חסדים אדוני, ויהי הוא טרם, כי לך לדבר, והנה נתקה יוצאת, אשר יולדה ליטועה במלכה, אשת נחור, אחי אברהם, וחדה השכמה, הן הערה, טובת מראה מאוד, בתולה, ואיש לא ידעה, ותרד העינה, ותמלא חדה אחאב, היה רוצה עבד לקראתה, ויאמר, הגביעיני נא, והמים מקדך, ותאמר שתרני, ותמהר, ותורק עדה, עדה ותשקהו, ותאכל אשכתו, ותאמר, גם למלאך אשב, עד אם כאילו לשתות, ותמהר, ותאר קדה אל השוקת, ותרוץ עוד, לבאר לשוב, ותשב לך גמליו, והאיש מתעלה, לחריש, לדעת, הצליח אדוני, דרכו לו, ויהי, כאשר כאילו הגמלים לשתות, ויקח האיש נזם זהב, וקח משקלו, ושני צמידים על ידיה, 10 זהב משקלם, ויאמר בת מיעט, הגידינה לי, היש בית אביך, מקום לנו להלין, ותאמר לה, ותואל אנוכי במלכה, אשר ילדה לנחור, ותאמר לה, גם תבן גם מצפו, רב עמנו, גם מקום ללון, ויקוד האיש, וישתחו לאדוני.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו תורה סמס בחיים ומלטה בסלחנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נושא התורה.
Warren, we honor you with an aliyah this morning to give thanks to God for preserving you in good health and in recognition of good news you recently received in your recovery from surgery. Warren is going to bench Gomel. This is something that involves his saying a blessing and us responding as a congregation with love that we're also very happy for this good news. So please turn to page 173. At the bottom of the page, you'll see the line that Warren will say, and then you'll see there's a line specifically to say for a male.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם הגומל חייבים טובים שגמלני כל טוב.
Amen. Mi shegamalacha kol tov. He shegamalacha kol tov. Selah.
Fourth aliyah begins on page 134, verse 27.
Nala Amod,
Lebar Reperal and Asher B'chai from
Lalia Dalit,
Baruch Adonai HaBarak. Baruch Adonai HaBarak Le'olam Voed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Olam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Notein HaTorah.
Amen. Vayomer Baruch Adonai Elohei Abraham Asher Lo azav chasto v'mitomim Adoni Anochi B'derech nachani Adonai B'etachei Adoni V'taratza na'ara v'takev l'veitima Kadvarim ha'ele U'lerivka ach u'shmo Lavan V'yiratz Lavan el ha'ish Hachutza el ha'ayin V'yihi kir'ot et hanezem V'et hatzmidim Al yedei achoto V'chishamo Et divrei Rivka achoto lemor Kor diber elai ha'ish Vayavo el ha'ish Vinei omed al ha'kmalim U'al ha'ayin Vayomer Bo baruch Adonai Lama ta'amod b'chutz V'anochi piniti habayit U'makom l'ha'kmalim Vayavo ha'ish habayta Vayifatach ha'kmalim Vayiten teven u'mizpo l'ha'kmalim U'mayim l'chotz raglav V'raglei ha'anashim asher ito Vayusam l'fanav le'echol Vayomer lo ochal Ad im divarti dvarai Vayomer daber Vayomar Eved Abraham Anochi V'Adonai Berach et Adoni Ma'od vayigdal V'yiten lo Zon u'bakar v'chesed v'zahav שבטים ושפחות, וגמלים וחמורים, ותלך שרה, אשת אדוני, בן לאדוני, אחרי זקנתה, וייתן לו הכל אשר, וייתן לו הכל אשר לו, וישבני אדוני לאמור, לא תיקח אישה לבני, מבנות הכנעני, אשר אנוכי יושב בארצו, אם לא בית אבי, תלך אל משפחתי, ולקחת אישה לבני, ואומר אל אדוני, אולי לא תלך האישה אחריי, ויאמר אלי, אדוני, אשר התהלכתי לפניו, ישלח מלאכו איתך, והצליח דרכך ולקחת אישה לבני, ממשפטי ומבית אבי, אז תנקה מעלתי, כי תבוא אל משפחתי, ואם לא ייתנו לך, ויתנקי מעלתי. ואבוא היום אל העין, ואומר, אדוני אלוהי אדוני אברהם, אם יש חנה מצליח דרכי, אשר אנוכי הולך עליה, הנה אנוכי ניצב על עין המים, והיה העלמה היוצאת לשוב, ואמרתי אליה, השקיני נא מעט מים מקדך, ואמרה אלי גם אתה שתה, וגם לגמליך אשאב, היא האישה אשר הוכיח אדוני לבן אדוני, אני טרם אקלה לדבר אל ליבי, והנה רבקה יוצאת וחדה על שכמה, ותרד עינה ותשב, ואומר אליה שכינה, ותמהר, ותורד קדם מעליה, ותאמר שתה, וגם גמליך אשקה, באש, וגם הגמלים השקעת, ואשאל אותה, ואומר, בת מיעט, ותאמר, בת בתואל בן נחור, אשר ילדה לו מלכה, ואשם הנזם על אפה, והצמידים על ידיה, ואכוד ואשתחווה לאדוני, ואברך את אדוני אלוהי אדוני אברהם, אשר הנחני בדרך אמת, לקחת את בת אחי אדוני לבנו, את בת אחי אדוני לבנו, ואתה, אם ישכם עושים חסד ואמת, את אדוני הגידו לי, ואם לא הגידו לי, ואפנה על ימין או על שמאל, ויען לבן ובתואל ויאמרו, מאדוני יצא הדבר, לא נוכל דבר אליך רע או טוב, הנה רבקה לפניך כך בלך, ותהי אישה לבן אדונך, כאשר דיבר אדוני, ויהי כאשר שמע עבד אברהם את דבריהם, וישתחו ארצה לאדוני.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam natan v'takenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Fifth Aliyah begins on page 137, verse 53.
Nala Amod.
Harav Yocheved Ariella, Bat Jonathan Benjamin Halevi Lachana.
Lalia Hey.
Baruch et Adonai Borach. Baruch Adonai Borach Leolam Vaed. Baruch et Adonai Eloheinu Melech Olam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Amim V'natan Lanu et Torato. Baruch et Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Vayotze ha'eved, chle kasef u'chle zahav u'vigadim, vayitei Chayei l'Rivka, Umigdano, Natan la'achia u'le'ima, Vayochlu vayishtu, Hanashim asher imo, Vayolinu, Vayakumu v'boker, Vayomer shachuni ladoni, Vayomer achi havi'ima, Teshev hana'ara, Itanu yamim o asor, Achar telech, Vayomer alehem al ta'acharu oti, Vadonai yitzliach darki, Shalchuni ve'elchal adoni, Vayomru nikra lena'ara, V'nishala et piha, Vayikru'u l'rivka vayomru eleha, Heltelchi ima isha zeh, Vatomer elech, Vayeshachu, Erivka achotam ve'menita, Ve'et evet Avraham ve'et anashav, Vayevarchu et Rivka vayomru la, Achotenu at hayel alfei revava, Vayirash sarech et shar son av, Vatakam Rivka v'na'aroteha, Vatirkavna al hatmalim, Vatelachna achrei ha'ish, Vayikacha evet et Rivka vayelach, V'yitzchak b'amibo be'er lachai ro'i, V'yoshev be'eretz hanegev, Vayetze Yitzchak lasuach basadeh lifnot arev, Vayisa enav vayar, V'nei malim ba'im, Vatisa Rivka et eneha, Vatera et Yitzchak, Vatipol me'al hagamal, Vatomer el ha'eved, Mi ha'ish halazeh holech basadeh likratenu, Vayomer ha'eved hu adoni, Vatikach hatza'if vatikas, Vayisavera eved li'Yitzchak, Et kol ha'torim asher asa, Vayiviyaha Yitzchak, Ha'ohela Sara imo, Vayikach et Rivka, Vatihilo li'isha ve'ye'ahaveha, Vayanachem Yitzchak acharei mo.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam natar b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. We pause now in the presence of the Sefer Torah to offer a Misha Berach blessing of healing for those who are ill. I was honored with the 5th Aliyah today because this week I'm saying Yartzeit for my father, Jonathan Roth, who died on Rosh Chodesh Kislev, when we celebrate the new month of Kislev. And this Shabbat we will be announcing with a special blessing that Kislev is coming, Hanukkah is coming, which is a holiday we celebrate with light at one of the darkest times of the year. And so as we turn to this blessing of healing, let us hold in our hearts those we are thinking of and hope that even though they are suffering from illness and they may be facing a dark time in their life, that they too will see light. We'll join together first by singing together, and then I will pause and ask those who want to share names to rise in their place. We'll continue then with the traditional blessing and allow anyone who wants to offer a name. To share. Berach Abotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Imotenu Sara Rivka Rachel v'Leah U'Yivarech v'Yirapeh et hacholim.
Shalom Tivor bat Sara Hindatzi ben Rivka Ritza Kula, Orly bat Sara, Miriam bat Sara, Rivka bat Miriam, Nechama bat Chaya.
Gerald and Margulies and Kathy Moss.
Reuven ben Sara, Chaim ben Amidah.
Shulam ben Leahania, Razel bat Roots, Eliana bat Saralita, Tony Kish, Christine Kanza.
Eric Lutz. Margie Grossman, Elaine Berman, Michael Allen.
Dot Liebman and Nancy White.
Jane Bonetti.
Fran Rosenbluth, Michael Rosenbluth, and Paul Becker.
Eve Catalina.
Bill Jacob, Sue Goldman, Zick Cloudcott.
HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Yimalei Rachamim, Alehem, L'Hachazikam, Raputam Yishlach Lehem Mehera, Refuah Shlema Min HaShamayim, Refuat HaNefesh, Refuat HaGuf, B'toch Sha'ar HaCholim, Mechazek et Yidei Oskim B'tzorcheim, Shabbat Nizok Refuah Kravo Lavo, HaShabbat Alav Izman Gariv, V'nomar Amen. May the one who blessed our ancestors Abraham and Isaac and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bring blessing and healing to all the people we have named in our hearts. May the Holy One mercifully restore them to health and vigor, granting them spiritual and psychological and physical well-being, together with all others who are ill, and may God grant strength to those who tend to them. Though Shabbat is a time to refrain from crying out, we yet hope and pray that healing is at hand. And let us say, Amen.
6 Leah on page 139, chapter 25, verse 1.
Nala Amud,
Akiva ben Abraham ben Sara.
Lali Ava,
Baruch Hu Adonai Habarach. Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Bo'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen. Vayosef Avraham, vayikach Isha shma Keturah, vatelelo, et Zimran v'et Yakshan, v'et Medan v'et Midyan, v'et Yishbach v'et Shuach, Yakshan Yalad, et Sheva v'et Dedan, uvnei Dedan, hayu asherim lutushim lumim, uvnei Midyan, Efa v'efer v'chanoch, v'avidah v'elda'ah, kol elu b'nei Keturah, Vayiten Abraham et kol asher lo liyitzchak, v'livanei apilakshim asher lo Abraham, natan Abraham matanot, vayeshachem, me'al Yitzchak b'no bodenu chai, kedmat le'eretz kedem, ve'ele yemei, shnei chayei Abraham asher chai, me'at shana, v'shivim shana v'chamesh shanim, v'yikva v'yamat Abraham, v'sevat tova zaken v'soveya, v'asaf el amah, v'yikru otav, Yitzchak v'yishmael banav, el me'arat ha'machpelah, el sedei, Ephron ben Zochar ha'chiti, asher al pnei Mamre, hasadeh, asher kana Abraham me'et menechet, Shama, Huvar Abraham v'Sara ishto, Vayhi, Acharei mot Abraham, Vayivarech Elohim et Yitzchak beno, Vayeshev Yitzchak im be'er lachai roi.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch Atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Nala Amud,
Yehoshua Yonah.
just sit it.
Yehoshua Yonah ben Reuven Mordechai v'yenta Yehudit Machla.
Nala Zion,
Chandeliers on page 141, verse 12.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvarach. Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen. Ve'elech toldot Yishmael ben Avraham asher yalda Hagar Mitzrit shivchat Sara la'Avraham. Ve'elech shemot bnei Yishmael b'shmatam l'toldotam bechor Yishmael nevayot v'kedar v'ad be'el misam u'mishma v'duma masa chadat v'tema yatur nafish v'ad kedma Elehem b'nei Yishmael ve'ela shmotam b'chatrehem u'b'tirotam shneim asar nisim u'matam ve'ele shnei Chayei Yishmael mi'at shana v'shoshim shana v'sheva shanim vayiva v'yamat ve'asef el hamav v'yishkenu mechavila ad shur asher apnei Mitzrayim bo'acha ashura apnei chalachav nafal.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah temet v'chayei olam natah b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Yasher Koach. This is a very special moment for your family and also for our congregation. I like your shirt, Lila, big sister, and Miles. We're so glad that you can be here also as the big brother. And there is a very beautiful sleeping baby right here. Now, if you happen to be on the distribution list for this funny email that Josh sent out, you would probably be glad that neither Lila or Miles in the end were able to choose the name for their baby sister. We're glad to officially welcome her into our community and also into the covenant of the Jewish people this morning. But before we do, we first want to give thanks that Jenny made it safely through childbirth. She's going to bench Gomel, which is the same blessing we said before on page 173. There's a line that she and Josh are going to say together, and then we respond with a line as well.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hagomel l'chayavim tovot shegmalini kol tov.
Me, amen. Shigamale, Mishamak. So, that we're good now. Okay. All right. She doesn't want to be rocked. I got a little distracted by the gentle rocking of the baby. So this is how it works. We're going to say a special blessing, and we're going to announce officially the Hebrew names to the congregation. And then there's one line where everyone has an opportunity to repeat after me special words of blessing, and then we'll finish reciting the blessing. And as we do, I just want to acknowledge that we have many family members and friends here to celebrate with us this morning. So in addition to Josh Hirsch and Jen Leone and Lila and Miles, we have proud grandparents, Rob Hirsch and Judy Hirsch, and also Jeff Leone and Alex Rayful. Okay, you ready for the name? Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu kayam et hayalda azot lavia ulima bikra shema b'Yisrael Esther Aliza Bat Yehoshua Yona Veshena Shoshana Yismach ha'av b'yotzei chalatza v'tagel ima b'fri bitna kakatuv el anar hazeh hitpalalti v'yitein Adonai li et shalti asher shalti meimo v'kayam la'Adonai Eloheinu ma shekatuv pia patcha b'chochma v'torad chesed alishona. Our God and God of our answers sustain this beautiful little girl. Let her be known among the people Israel as Esther Aliza, daughter of Yehoshua Yona, Veshena Shoshana. May her mother be blessed with renewed strength, and may both parents find joy in this beautiful child. As it is written, it was this child I prayed for, and Adonai has granted me what I have sought. Fulfill for her, Adonai, our God, that which is written. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and the Torah of loving kindness is upon her tongue. Let us give thanks to Adonai, for Adonai is good. Repeat after me. Hodu l'Adonai ki tov, ki le'olam chasto. Zot hakatana, Esther Eliza, bat Yehoshua, Yona v'Shena Shoshana, Gedola tihiyeh, Yihi ratzon shetisku horeh legadla leTorah, u'lechupa u'masim tovim v'nomar Amen. May this little tiny baby Esther Eliza, daughter of Yehoshua, Yona v'Shena v'Shoshana, grow to be a big, full human being. And may she enjoy the blessings of Torah and always feel welcome among the Jewish people. May she find loving relationships of her own and maybe even one day stand under the chuppah. And may her life be full of good deeds of ma'asim tovim. And let us say, Amen. Simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, and simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, and simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, and simen tov. Good sign that she's still sleeping. And Josh and Jenny know if you want to offer some words to explain her name.
Some more singing. So, thank you everyone for coming. Thank you to everyone on Zoom. I know there's some people from Israel. It's Shabbat just ended there, so perfect timing for you guys. So first I'll talk about her first name, Esther, in Hebrew also the same. I know there's a lot of people who suspected that we would want to name Esther after my great uncle Richard. And that's true. The question, of course, is how would you get from Richard to Esther? And I spent a long time researching and trying to figure this out. And it turns out that his Hebrew name was Shmuel. And there's a very easy on the surface thing, which is that Shmuel, the prophet, was the traditional author of the book of Esther. So those names are connected to each other. Fine. That was too easy. What I realized more when I was reading about this is that the name Shmuel, sort of everyone offhand thinks, oh, Shmuel sounds like Shema, God heard. But there isn't that key ayin in the word Shema in the name Shmuel. And so it really doesn't mean God heard at all. And then there have been many sort of debates over the years and different scholars that have asked about, what actually does that mean? Is it a sort of confusion with the Shaul character who comes, right after Shmuel? And that makes more sense with his birth story, Shmuel's, because his mother prayed for him to be born. Eventually, I found this, I don't know what to call it, a publication. Miles, leave it, thank you. A publication from 1900 from Penn professor Morris Jastrow Jr., who, of course, as you can see, with respect to Uncle Richard's sister-in-law and Rabbi Julie, better Ivy League institution in the Mid-Atlantic. This treatise, or whatever it's called, it's basically implied that the use of the word sha'al in the Bible is almost always not meaning just a simple question, as the word she'elah sort of means now, but it's a much more mystical sort of question that often goes along with what the ancient Greeks would call an oracle. It's associated with the Urim and Tumim, these mystical things where people were asking God to grant them prophecies or to explain what was going to happen or grant them certain divine favors. And it really wasn't so clear as, what's the weather outside today type of question. And this really stuck with me because Uncle Richard, for all of his bombast and confidence that he had, always also had a little bit of a twinkle and a wink that was like, maybe don't take me so seriously all the time. And I think that this is something that I want Esther to have for herself, that it's something where, be brave like Queen Esther in the Bible, be confident, be wise, but realize that the world is not quite so easily understood. And one of my favorite lines in the book of Esther goes with this, where Esther is saying to Mordecai, I'm scared to go to the king, because if I go to the king, and I haven't been summoned, then he's liable to kill me. And Mordecai responds to this line, Umi yodea im la'et kazot higat lamalchut. Who knows, kind of, if this is the very reason you became the queen? And when you associate this with this sort of divine questioning and prophecy and not really totally understanding the big picture, I think it's perfect, considering the journey that our family has been on in the last few years, that who knows how we ended up getting to this day with Esther. Who knows why we got to this day. Who knows what things are in store for her, and of course for Miles and Lila. And all we can do is be thankful and hope that she will grow up like her namesake, to have a long and happy and healthy life, and have, of course, a good amount of healthy respect from everyone, and maybe, choose a couple better sports teams than he did, but, not everyone's perfect. And now Jenny will talk about her middle name.
So I'm not a biblical scholar like my husband, so I'll just say things that probably everyone can understand. So her middle name in English is Alice. Alice is after a dear friend of mine who passed away. I was treated for breast cancer right after Lila was born, and she was treated with me. And I had a friend named Allie, and Allie didn't make it, but we used to talk about having a third child, both of us individually. And so I thought it would be a nice tribute to her, to have her namesake at least continued on through my legacy, and to remind Esther of all we've been through to get her here and how much she meant to us. Eliza is actually my breast surgeon, and so I told her that I was doing a tribute to her, and while she is still living, I felt it was important to honor her as well for the same reasons.
Thank you for being with us today. I think if you're lucky, you'll get a chance to wink at this beautiful, beautiful baby who carries so many important legacies, both in the name Esther Alice and Esther Eliza. Well, the celebration will continue after services.
Yes.
We're going to continue with our Torah service after the Chatzi Kaddish. Please rise as you are able.
Yikada v'yikada shemei Rabbi v'yamad yivrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayei emonu v'yomecha u'chayei deklo be'Yisrael u'bizman kariv v'yimeru amen yehi shmei Rabbi Yitbarak, v'yishtabak, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitramam, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitalel, v'yitalal, shmei b'kudesha, leilan min kol berchatav v'shiratav, tushbechatav v'nechematav, damamiran v'yamah, v'yimeru, amen. Nala amod.
Yehudit bat Chaim Yehuda b'Torah Michal.
Lalia Hamaftira.
Here's on page 141, verse 16.
Baruch hu et Adonai Ambarach. Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato, Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Elehem, Bnei Ishmael v'elu shmotam, v'chatzrehem u'ptirotam, 12 nesiim l'umatam, ve'ele shenei Chayei Ishmael, mi'at shana v'shloshim shana v'sheva shanim, v'yikla v'yamad ve'asef el amav, v'yishkenu mechavila, ad shur, asher al pnei Mitzrayim, bo'acha ashura, al pnei chol achav nafal. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam olam natav b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Na la'amod, lahagba ugalilat haTorah.
Please rise as you are able.
You are the most amazing God by a way you would call it forever.
In a moment, we're going to turn to the Haftarah for Parshat Chayei Sara on page 143. But first, Judy is going to share some words about the significance of today for her.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Today's the anniversary of my bat mitzvah, actually the 58th anniversary. I can't even believe it. And when I became a bat mitzvah 58 years ago, I said the Haftarah, I said the Kiddush, and I said the Haftarah on Friday night. And I sat on Shabbat morning, and I watched my brother and all the other boys in our shul chant from the Torah. And it was really, I never got over it. I just never got over it. And when I was able, and when women were allowed, I learned how to read Torah. And fortunately, the same Torah teacher who taught me my Haftarah taught me how to read Torah. And I just feel very lucky that I'm in this shul and I can read Torah whenever I want. And I really enjoy it. I feel like it really brings me much closer to the text and just an understanding of everything. It just makes it very, very meaningful for me. And many years ago, I chanted a Haftarah when my niece was born, and 3 men walked out of the shul when I started chanting. And that doesn't happen anymore. And for this beautiful little baby who got born, just recently born, and for all the women, and for everyone in our shul, we all have the opportunity to do all these things. And I want to thank my parents for putting me into a position of being able to develop my love for davening and Torah reading and Haftarah and all things Jewish, and for sending me to Camp Ramah and putting me in a community where I could thrive like that. And also my Torah teacher, Kenny Goldblum, and my parents, Zichronam Livracha, Kenny, Zichrono Livracha, who taught me in a way that I would never, ever forget. That's how he taught everyone, and I haven't forgotten. And now on Friday night, I'm learning my Torah reading, and my husband is listening to me chant my Torah reading. And And I feel very happy and excited that we can do this in this congregation. And I hope that we will, with all due respect to Andy, who's wonderful and we couldn't live without him, I hope that we will become a community of Torah readers. So that's my hope and prayer for everyone. Thank you. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam asher bachar b'nviim tovim ratzav divrehem hanemarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'Torah u'b'moshefto u'v'Yisrael amo u'b'nviei ha'emet v'tzedek. V'hamelech David zaken ba bayamim v'yechasu b'begadim v'lo yicham lo v'yomru lo avadav yivakshu l'Adoni hamelech na'ara v'tula v'yamda livnei hamelech u'ti lo sochenet v'shachva v'chekecha v'shachva v'chekecha v'cham l'Adoni hamelech v'yivakshu na'ara yafa b'chol gevul Yisrael v'yimtzeu et Avishag hashunamit v'yaviu ota l'melech v'hana'ara yafa ad ma'od v'tehi l'melech sochenet v'tesharateu v'hamelech lo yida'a v'adoniya v'nchagid midnaseh lemor ani emloch v'ya'as lo rechev ufarashim v'chamishim ish ratzim lefanav v'lo atzavo aviv miyamav lemor madua kacha asita v'gam hu tov toar me'od v'oto yalda acharei Avshalom v'yiyu devarav im Yoav ben Sruya ve'im Ebiatar Kohen v'ya'azru acharei Adoniyah v'tzadok HaKohen u'bnayahu ben Yoyada v'natan hanavi v'shin ivrei v'giborim asher leDavid lo hayu im Adoniyahu v'yizbach Adoniyahu sonu bakar Marie im even azochelet asher etzel ein rogel v'yikra ekol echav b'nei hamelech l'chol anshei Yehuda avdei hamelech v'et Natan hanavi v'nayahu v'et hagiborim v'et Shlomo achiv lo kara v'yomer Natan el bat sheva im Shlomo lemor halo shama'at ki malach Adoniyahu ben Chagit v'adonenu David lo yada v'yata lechi yatzech na etza umalti et nafshech v'et nefesh b'nech Shlomo lechi u'roi el hamelech David v'amarti lav halo ata Adoni hamelech nishbata la'amatcha lemor ki Shlomo v'nech yimloch acharai v'hu yoshev al kisi yeshev al kisi madua malach Adoniyahu hine odach medaberet sham yimanelech v'ani avo acharayich umileti et devarayich vatavo vatsheva el hamelech achadra v'hamelech zaken me'od v'avishag hashunamit misharat et hamelech vatikol vatsheva vatishtach ulamelech Vayomer HaMelech Malach, Vatomer Lo, Adoni, Ata Nishbata, Badonai Elohecha La'amatecha, Kishlomo V'nech Yimloch Acharai, V'hu Yeshiv Al Kisi, V'ata, Hine Adoni HaMalach, V'ata, Adoni HaMelech, Lo Yadata, Vayizbach, Shor Umrivitzon, Larov, Vayikra, L'chol B'nei HaMelech, Uleviatar HaKohen, Uleyoav Sara Tzava, L'Shlomo Avdecha Lo Kara, V'ata Adoni HaMelech, Enei Chol Yisrael Alecha, Lagi Lahem, Mi Yeshev, Al Kisei Adoni HaMelech, Acharav, V'haya, Kishkav Adoni HaMelech, Im Avotav, V'hayiti Ani, Uvni Shlomo Chataim, V'nei, Odena Midaberet, Im HaMelech, V'natan HaNavi Baal, Vayagidu LaMelech Lemur, Hine Natan HaNavi, Vayavo Lifnei HaMelech, Vayishtachu LaMelech, Alav Arza, Vayomer Natan, Adoni HaMelech, Ata Marta, Adoniyahu Yimloch Acharav, V'hu Yeshiv Al Kisi, Ki Yarad Hayom, Vayizbach, Shor Umrivitzon, Larov, Vayikra, L'chol B'nei HaMelech, U'lesarei HaTzava, U'le'Aviatar HaKohen, V'inam, Ochlim V'shotim L'fanav, Vayomru, Yechi HaMelech Adoniyahu, Beli Ani Abdecha, L'tzadok HaKohen, L'ivnayahu Ben Yoyada, L'shlomo Avdecha Lo Kara, Ime'ed Adoni HaMelech, Nihiyah HaDavar Hazeh, V'lo Hodata Et Abdecha, Mi Yeshev Al Kisei Adoni HaMelech, Acharav, Vaya'an HaMelech David Vayomer, Kiruli L'matshava, Vatavo Lifnei HaMelech, Vata'amod Lifnei HaMelech, Vayishava HaMelech, Vayomar Chai Adonai, Asher Pada Et Nafshi Mikol Sara, Ki Ka'asher Nishbati Lach, Badonai Elohei Yisrael Emor, Ki Shlomo V'nech, Yimloch Acharai, V'hu Yeshev Al Kisi Tachtai, Ki Na'aseh Hayom Hazeh, Vatikod Bat Sheva Apayim Eretz, Vatishtachu LaMelech, Vatomer Yechi Adoni HaMelech David Leolam. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam, Sur Kol HaOlamim, Tzadik B'Kol HaDorot, Hayel Ne'eman HaOmer V'Yoseh, HaMedaber U'Mkayem, Shekol Dvarav Emet V'Tzedek. Ne'eman Atahu Adonai Eloheinu, Ne'emanim Devarecha, V'davar echad midvarecha, Achor lo yashuv reikam, Ki HaMelech Ne'eman Rachaman Ata, Baruch Atah Adonai, Hayel Ne'eman B'chol Dvarav. Rachem al Tzion, Ki Beit Chayenu, V'elalu vat nefesh Toshia b'mheira v'yameinu, Baruch Atah Adonai, V'samech Tzion b'vaneha. Samcheinu Adonai Eloheinu, V'Eliyahu Hanavi Avdei Yehuda, U'malchut Beit David Nishichecha, B'mhera Yavo V'yagel Mipenu, Al Kiso Lo Yeshev Zar, V'lo Yinchalu Or Acherim Et Kvodo, Ki B'Shem Kadshecha Nishbata Lo, Shelo Yichben Nero Li'olam Va'ed, Baruch Ata Adonai, Magen David. Ala Torah, V'yal Avodah, V'yal Nevi'im, V'yal Yom HaShabbat Hazeh, Shenatat Lanu, Adonai Eloheinu, L'Kedusha V'Li'Menucha, L'Chavod U'Tifaret, Ala Kol, Adonai Eloheinu, Anachnu Modim Lach, U'Mevarchim Otach, Yetbarach Shimcha, B'fi Kochai Tamid Li'olam Va'ed, Baruch Atah Adonai, V'Kadesh HaShabbat.
Our service continues with Birkat HaChodesh, the announcement of the new month. We're on page 180. Please rise as you are able. The new month of Kislev will begin on Thursday and Friday of this upcoming week. Page 180.
Yehi Ratzon milfanecha, Adonai Eloheinu, Ve'Elohei Avotenu, Shet Kadesh Aleinu, Et HaChodesh Haba, L'Tova V'Livracha, V'Titen Lanu, Chayim Arukim, Chayim Shel Shalom, Chayim Shel Tova, Chayim Shel Beracha, Chayim Shel Parnasa, Chayim Shel Chilutz Atzamot, Chayim Sheyesh Bahem, Yirat Shamayim V'Yirat Chet, Chayim She'en Bahem Busha Uchlima, Chayim Shel Osher V'Chavod, Chayim Shetehevanu, Ahavat Torah V'Yirat Shamayim, Chayim She'imalu Mishalot Libenu, Libenu L'Tova, Chayim She'imalu Mishalot Libenu, Libenu L'Tova. Amen. Selah. Misha Yasa Nisim Lavotenu, V'Gael Otam Me'avdut L'Cherut, Hu Yigal Otanu B'Karov, V'Kabetz Nidachenu Me'arvakam Kol Ha'aretz, Chaverim Kol Yisrael V'Namar Amen. Rosh Chodesh Kislev Yeh B'Yom Chamishi U'V'Yom Shishi Hava Aleinu V'Yal Kol Yisrael L'Tova. Yechadshehu HaKadosh Baruch Hu Aleinu V'Yal Kol Amo Beit Yisrael L'Chaim U'L'Shalom L'Sason U'L'Simcha L'Yeshua U'Nechama V'Nomar Amen.
Please be seated. We continue with Ashrei, page 181.
Ashrei Yoshvei Beitecha Od Yalucha Selah.
Tilat Adonai adaber pi, vivarech kol basar shem kodsho le'olam va'ed. V'ananu nevarech ya me'atah le'olam. Hallelujah. Yahallelu et shem Adonai, ki nishkav shemo levado.
Shabbat Shalom. As we know, this coming Thursday, we will celebrate Thanksgiving, a national holiday proclaimed by President Abraham Lincoln in 1863 in the middle of the Civil War. On Thanksgiving Day, as we know, Americans traditionally gather with family and friends to enjoy a huge feast, often featuring turkey and stuffing, in celebration of the harvest and the blessings of the past year. These customs are based on the first recorded autumn harvest feast dating back to 1621, when 90 Wampanoag Native American people and 53 pilgrims gathered for a feast lasting 3 days. In elementary school, the lessons about Thanksgiving usually focus on counting our blessings, with art projects like a turkey made of construction paper with handwritten words of thanks on each one of the turkey feathers. Sometimes We learned about the Pilgrims and the Native Americans, or Indians when I was a kid, but rarely did we speak about conflict, let alone war and bloodshed. As a parent, I wondered if my kids would learn a more complex version of history than I had learned. But at least in the Princeton public schools, my kids still weren't really learning about Thanksgiving in a nuanced way from the perspective of both indigenous and non-indigenous peoples. Since the Standing Rock protests of 2016 and 2017, it has become increasingly common to make land acknowledgments, a practice I first encountered at Princeton University. A land acknowledgement is a statement often made at the beginning of a gathering or sometimes affixed to a building to publicly recognize the ongoing significance of the land to the specific native tribes connected with that location. The first time I heard a land acknowledgement at the gathering of all campus life professionals at Princeton, it unexpectedly brought me to tears. I was moved that an institution like Princeton would make this type of gesture. The vice president of campus life said, "We gather on the land of the Lenni Lenape. We honor the Lenape and other indigenous caretakers of these lands and waters, the elders who lived here before, the indigenous today, and the generations to come." Though insufficient as a stand-alone gesture, these words profoundly acknowledge a dual claim to the land. This year, at the Nutley Interfaith Thanksgiving celebration, which we're connected to because our congregation merged with a congregation from Nutley, the service will begin with a land acknowledgement. This week's Torah portion, Chayei Sara, begins with the death of our matriarch, Sara, who lived a span of 127 years. After joining Abraham on his journey to the land of Canaan and giving birth to Isaac in her old age, according to Midrash, she heard the news that Abraham nearly sacrificed their son Isaac, and then she dies. Abraham, as we read, mourns his beloved wife, who he was married to for over 100 years. Abraham and Sarah were new to the land of Canaan, and Abraham needed to find a place to bury his wife. The Hittites, who were then in the land, were willing to gift a burial cave to Abraham, to give it to him for free. But Abraham insists on purchasing the land, and there are many significant details in our parsha that are there to show that Abraham has a claim to this land, and so to his descendants. Abraham insists on purchasing the land for the price not that he names, but that the owner, Ephron, son of Zohar, names, and he does not bargain. Abraham purchased the cave of Machpelah for its full price publicly, specifically within the hearing of all the Hittites. This sacred burial spot where Abraham and Sarah, Isaac and Rebekah, Jacob and Leah are buried is the second holiest site in the Jewish religion after the Kotel, the Western Wall in Jerusalem. By a show of hands, how many people here have visited the cave of Machpelah? Quite a few, actually. Personally, I have visited Israel more than a dozen times, including the year I lived in Jerusalem as a rabbinical student. I have visited the Kotel many, many times, but I have never been to Hebron, the town in which we find the cave of Machpelah. It was never on the itinerary of any of the many tours I took or led, and it seemed too dangerous to visit on my own. I have known that tensions run very high in Hebron between the Palestinians and the Israelis who live there, and that soldiers from the Israeli Defense Forces, the IDF, are often stationed in Hebron. But the details have always been a little fuzzy. This week, I happened to speak to Josh McDrill, the son of a colleague of mine, Rabbi Paula McDrill, who I studied with at JTS. Josh grew up nearby to us in West Caldwell, New Jersey, but made Aliyah to Israel and served in the Israeli Defense Forces as an officer in Hebron. Right now, he's in the process of writing a book about his experience, a book he hopes will explain the complexity of the situation in Hebron, a book that tells the story from the perspective of the 200,000 plus Palestinians who live there and the 1,000 Jewish settlers and the young Israeli soldiers who guard them. After an hour of conversation with Josh and watching a movie recommended by Rabbi Jill Jacobs, CEO of Torah, the rabbinic call for human rights, I am still far from an expert on Hebron, but I want to share a few key details. For more than 100 years, there was a Jewish community living in peace in Hebron. But tragically, in 1929, there was a massacre against the Jews, and then the Jewish community was expelled. In 1967, the Israeli army recaptured Hebron as part of the Six-Day War, and there was pressure to allow the kids and the grandkids of the early Jewish residents who had lived there before the massacre back to Hebron. At the time, and still today, Hebron is one of the largest Palestinian cities in the West Bank. In 1994, as you may remember on Purim, there was another massacre, this time committed by Baruch Goldstein, who murdered Muslims praying in a mosque. After that tragedy, an agreement was made to split Hebron into two areas, one for Palestinians and one for Israelis. There is regular taunting and violence between these two groups, and the IDF soldiers who are stationed in Hebron have quite a challenge protecting the Jewish settlers who live there. There is much more that could be said in a class or on a tour or watching a film and discussing it or by speaking with the Palestinian and Israeli residents of Hebron and the soldiers stationed there. For today, I just want to acknowledge that the cave of Machpelah, the cave which Abraham so lovingly bought to bury his wife Sara, the one we read about in our Torah portion today, it is not simply a holy site, a shrine, and a concrete Jewish claim to the land of Israel. It is also a location of a great deal of pain, hatred, and suffering. According to Jewish tradition, as Ian reminded me, the cave of Machpelah is also known as the burial place of Adam and Eve and marks the entrance place to the Garden of Eden. This teaching, expanded upon in the Zohar, adds an additional layer of cosmic holiness to this site, especially for Orthodox and ultra-Orthodox Jews. This intensifies the religious claim to the spot and makes the dichotomy between the reality of today and the ideal of a peaceful paradise all the more painful. It feels risky to talk about Hebron as a new rabbi in a congregation that doesn't really speak about Israel that often. But I believe strongly in something that I was told when I first arrived for my year of study at Machon Shechter in Israel, the Israeli rabbinical school of the conservative movement. It was the middle of the Second Intifada, and although we were officially required to spend a year studying with our Israeli and South American classmates from JTS, only 1/3 of my classmates came that year. There were regular bus bombings and restaurant bombings that year, and also a war that broke out with Iraq. I remember the dean of the Israeli Rabbinical School telling the Americans and the South Americans who came that this year would be the year we would develop a mature love for Israel. Not the infatuation of a trip to Ben Yehuda Street or to Masada, not the giddy love when you first start dating someone, but rather the mature love that manifests in a long marriage, in a lifetime commitment that includes easy times, but also times of struggle. It's hard to know when you're educating both kids and adults, and when you're confronting complex stories yourself, when to allow yourself to just feel the joy of a connection that goes back thousands of years, and when to examine the full complexity of the matter. Part of the work we have ahead of us as a congregation is to think about that. I could have just spoken about Rebecca's kindness at the well or elaborated on the Zohar's understanding of the cave as an entry place to Gan Eden. But I chose instead to talk about the cave and about modern-day Hebron, even though there's much more to say, because I wanted to open the conversation about how we as a congregation are going to begin to talk about and study and visit the Holy Land that was promised to Abraham and Sarah and to their descendants. Before I conclude, I just want to say explicitly that I do not believe the Israeli-Palestinian conflict can be understood through the lens of conflicts in America. The history and the identities of the people involved are too different. But Thanksgiving and Chayei Sara happen to be very close to each other this year. And they do share a similar question. How will we talk about places we love while still acknowledging their full complexities? When we sit down at our Thanksgiving tables this coming Thursday, we will be faced with many questions. How do we count our blessings? How do we enjoy connecting with our family and friends? How much do we have to eat before we have to unbutton the top button on our pants? But I hope also, perhaps some of us might ask ourselves, how might we acknowledge the narratives of all the people who lived and live on this land? Shabbat Shalom, and happy Thanksgiving. Our service continues now with the Kaddish leading into Musaf. We're on page 184. Please rise if you are able.
Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbi Yalad yivrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei B'chayechonu v'yamechonu v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael Bagalav v'zman kari v'yimru Amen Yehi shmei Rabbi mevorach Le'olam lo Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'arit ramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yithalal shmei d'kudsha b'rechu le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata damiran b'alma v'yimru Amen Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu Elohei Avraham Kevodo, Kevodo, Malayolam, Mishoratab Shoalim Zelazel, Aye Mekom Kevodo, Yumatam Baruch Yomeru, Baruch Kevodo Adonai, Mimkomo, Mimkomo. Kaddish, V'shivchacha Eloheinu mipinu lo yamush le'olam va'ed, Ki el melech gadol v'kadosh ata baruch ata Adonai ha'el hakadosh. Yoseh Shalom B'Romav, Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru Amen. Hu Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Hu Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael.
Kaddish Shalem, page 203. Please rise as you are able. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbi. V'yamad livrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechonu v'yamechonu b'chay d'chol beit Yisrael b'agalav v'zman kari v'yimru amen. Hey shmei Rabbi mevorach li'olam yomei almaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yithalal shmei d'kutsha b'richu le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran b'yama v'yimru amen. Tikabal tzloton voton d'chol Yisrael kadam v'hon d'vishmaya v'yimru amen. Yehi shlam araba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'imramav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'yal kol yoshvei tevel v'yimru amen. Page 204, you may be seated. Ein Keloheinu, Ein Kadoneinu, Ein Kemalkeinu, Ein Kemoshienu, Mich Eloheinu, Mich Adoneinu, Mich Emalkeinu, Mich Kemoshienu, Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adoneinu, Nodel Emalkeinu, Nodel Moshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adoneinu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adoneinu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu, Atahu Shehetiru,
Avoteinu, levanecha et ketoret hasamim.
Please rise as you're able.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'ateitu l'yosher reshit, shelo asanu k'mei haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chalkenu kahem, v'kol aleinu k'chol amonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachalim u'modim, l'ifnei melech, malchei hamalchim, hakadosh baruch hu.
Kakatu b'toratecha, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed.
Ne'emar v'raya Adonai, l'melech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo, u'shemo, u'shemo echad. Please be seated. We continue in a moment with the Mourner's Kaddish. I'd first like to share the names of loved ones who are connected to members of our congregation. Kathleen Batke, Sidney Berman, William Ferenczi, Mordechai Menachem Hendler, Albert Jacob, and Jonathan Roth. Zichronam Livracha, may their memories be for a blessing. Mourners and those observing a yard site, please rise for the Mourner's Kaddish, page 207. Yitkadach v'yitkadach Shemei Rabba, v'yama dibra kirtei v'yamlich machutei, b'chayei chon v'yomei chon v'chayei zachol Beit Yisrael, v'agala u'vizman kari v'imru amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba mevorach le'olam olamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitfa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal Shemei Kudasha brichu, Le'ela minkol berchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata damiran v'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya b'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom v'imromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. And we now invite Carol Katzman up to share a few announcements.
That's heavy. Yashikoach to all who participated in today's service. And with joy and excitement, today's Kaddish is being sponsored by all of Esther's grandparents, which everybody is cordially invited to attend. And on behalf of the officers, the trustees, the entire congregation, and Josh had an excuse for leaving the board meeting on Tuesday because all of a sudden he said, we're having a baby, and he's, okay. It's the only excuse for not coming to a board meeting. Anyhow, we mazel tov, and we will be glad to present you with the baby naming certificate. Thank you very much for sharing your joy with us. Tomorrow morning services are at 9 a.m. And tomorrow evening at 5 p.m., the Transgender Day of Remembrance at the First Lutheran Church on 153 Church Street to remember and honor transgender people around the globe whose lives have been lost to transgender violence. Rabbi Julie will be offering a prayer on behalf of Shomrei, and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. We turn to page 211 for Adon Olam, followed by Kiddush.
Adon Olam Hashem Allah, B'terem kol Yitzir Nira, L'yek Nasa B'chefzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nira, V'yacharek Yifrot HaKol, Levado Yimlok Nora, V'hu Haya, V'hu Oleh, V'hu Yiyeh B'tifara, V'hu Echad B'yem Sheni, L'hamshil Lo L'hamira, V'lireishit V'litachrit, V'lo Ha'oz V'hamishra, V'hu Reili V'chayo Ali, V'tzorchem Li B'yei Sara, V'hu Nisi Umanos Li, V'rakosi V'yom Ekra, V'yado Achid Ruchi, B'yei Kishram V'yahira, V'im Ruchi V'yati, Adonai V'lo Yira.
Please rise for Kiddush. Al-Kain Berach Adonai Shem Shabbat V'yikachseu Sabri.
L'chaim.
Baruch Atanu Mecholam Borei Priagafe.
Amen.
Baruch Atanu Mecholam Asher Kisham Yitzitav Yitzivanu Al Netilat Yadayim.
Amen.
Baruch Atanu Mecholam Hamotzi Lechem Min Haaretz.
Amen.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I'm just thinking about Marilyn, what she taught us, and it was just like I just felt connected to it. You know what I mean?
I think of her every time I look at
Every time you
her.
do, right? I know, and she did it so beautifully.
I love it. It's totally
Thank you.
More. You'll inspire me.
Yeah, that's what I said. I want us to come up and read.
Yep.
I want 7, oh yeah, we have 7 for readers. People come up and read. Like we have our sons are reading, you know? I know, they're very good. They're very good. And they seem to do it without any angst.
Right.
Yeah. They do it without, and they don't seem to be anxious, I know.
I get up there and I feel my mouth going dry.
No, I had to practice this morning again. I practiced all last night, and all week.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I still get nervous. But once I'm there, like these are like old friends to me now. This partial. But I'm trying to read more.
Well, it was a lovely story you told.
Oh yeah, thank you. Anyway, I enjoyed your job, and I
Thank
wanted
you.
to let you know.
Miles, you want to come eat anything, buddy?
Allah.
Miles?
Allah.
Miles, you want to come eat anything? Okay, but if you want to come eat, this is lunch. There's bagels, cookies, there's cheese, and...
Hi. Hi.
Oh, this is where lunch is? So we can make a plate, bring it over, you can eat it all, but you have to come if you want, okay? What?
May the name of the Holy One be acknowledged. Jack. Jack.
Hello. The hobby. Hello?
Jack, that's my microphone. Hi, hello, and how do you do? Hi, hello, and how do you do? We're here to sing hello to you. I dare you to get sturdy right now. Do it. I'll try. What? Why am I running? The reason why I'm running is because you are crazy. Tap it. Yeah. Sounds like a horse far away. Earthquake! Everybody run. Run, run. Check if those are on. Nah, we can't be playing. Come on. Hello. Bro. It's some children. Jack. Hello, child. Jack. Ask him what his name is. What is your name? Miles. Hi, Miles. Do you want a free cookie? Okay, I have one thing to tell you. Always take candy from strangers.
Never take candy from strangers.
I'm joking. Only take candy from strangers in big black vans with no windows.
Never do that.
Only kidding. Just get them. Just Just go help someone find their puppy, and ride in their big black van.
No.
No. No. Don't do that. I'm joking.
Bro.
Just start attacking a random dog.
No microphone for you.
Wait, what's that? I'm pushing through it.
Wait, let me see what the different modes are.
Hola, 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 hola.
Doesn't matter.
Boom, chicka boom,
Miles
chicka bam,
is back.
chicka bam. Hey Miles, what's up, bro? How you doing, dude? You're so rad. That's totally tubular.
What does that mean?
Hello. What's up, Miles? Hi, hello.
How do you do? Watch me.
Let's get sturdy.
Let's get sturdy. Let's go. Let's go.
Hey, Zab, remember
Watch
this?
me. Oh yeah.
Brian, I dare you to get sturdy right now in front of Miles, the super cool kid right there.
Yeah, do it.
I'll get sturdy in front of him.
Do it.
Wow, that's not bad.
Bro, he's
No,
sitting down.
no.
You gotta
No,
read the Torah first.
This is a Siddur, not a Torah. Let's see what it says.
Wait, let's ask the guy in the night, in the run.
Oh my God, Nike shirt, great.
What's your name? What's
I'm
your
gonna
name?
read from a Siddur.
What's your name?
His name is
One.
What's your name?
One abides the sheltering secret of
Good job, Gabriel.
Did you put your mouth on that?
I said a boom, chicka boom, bubba. Wait, what's
Don't
your
do the
name?
Go Noodle.
What's
Go
your
Noodle
name?
sucks.
Hi, Cole. Can you get sturdy? Get sturdy. Get sturdy.
Do this. Do what you do it.
Hey.
Hey, bro.
5
he's the
stars.
man. You're doing great. Do it booty. No, stop. No, stop. Bro, what's up? Now we're gonna pop the sturdy. This is the dancing routine. Jack, you're gonna pop the sturdy. I'm popping that sturdy. Go back so we can sing you. See you. I'll tell you when to stop. Keep going. Hi. A little more. Okay, good. Get sturdy. Go, you gotta. Now, Jack, I'm gonna do my and he's getting gritty. You gotta say my name.